Peace, love, and balance, everybody. Peace, love, and balance, y'all. It's your girl, Isha, the goddess of wisdom, also known as Goddess on the Rise, the Copper Queen, the Flower Hoodie Queen, breaking this sacred energy exchange, 222, y'all. All right, y'all, it's Tuesday. It's Tarot Tuesday, but I'm going to do an oracle message. Y'all see my crystal ball right here. I'm going to do an oracle message. This is something that just came to my mental because it was something that keeps getting brought to my attention when I'm seen in public. So I titled this reading "Veiling in Islam" because y'all know I'm not a Muslim woman. I'm a Moorish woman, and I practice Islam. Okay, and that practice is a broad practice. Okay, and people ask me that all the time when they see me veiling. So now that I done got a bit more rested and caught up with my week, because I remember I told you I had a very productive weekend. That's why I didn't have time to do the Capricorn full moon reading until like what was it? I think it was yesterday. So now I can talk to y'all about the weekend. Okay, let's ring the bell. All right. Now that I can talk to you. So I told y'all if you did watch my last live, I went out and I had a great time at this concert with a local artist that I knew. Okay, and I felt safe going there because I knew the people that this particular artist associated with, and I had nothing negative about the people he associated with or had never had any negative experiences. So I felt safe to go out. And I was like, okay, cool. And and it's exactly how it was. It was safe. Nobody was, everybody was positive, for the most part. I only had, I think, three people that was slick getting on my nerves just a little bit. And it wasn't even like that, because I just don't let people bother me like that. And it wasn't nothing like super extreme necessarily, nothing like it. But I'm gonna tell y'all some things that happened over the weekend. But before I do, I want to specifically talk about the origins of veiling because every time I go out, like I said, and that's one of the things that happened. I had like two different people, well, really three different people asking me about my veil. Okay. And one person, he even tried, like, I'm going to tell y'all men, he tried to like pat my head like I was a dog. I'm going to show y'all. You know how this looks? Don't try to pat my effing head. I'm not a fucking dog. That's what I'm saying. They think you're a bitch, ladies. Before I even get started, they think you're a bitch. That's why they think I can just pat your head like you some fucking dog. Like, good girl. Fuck out of here. So he was pissing me off, and I had to get away from him. And I dodged him from doing it. And I told him, don't touch my veil. You know what I'm saying? And he thought it was a joke. So that's another thing. Wearing this veil takes a lot of energy that some women are not willing to put behind it, which is why I'm going to get into the reasons why women like me weren't even allowed outside. Y'all know I tell you I identify as a house witch, okay? And for a reason. It was a protect. If you didn't have a protector and you were carrying the energies you carried as a divine feminine, you couldn't be outside because it would start too many situations. And that's messed up. Women have always had to pay for the lackings or the of men. That's how women got in slavery. So this is called veiling in Islam, y'all. I'm about to get started and read y'all a couple of things. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. So we got right here, veiling did not originate with the advent of Islam. So it didn't originate in Islam, but it's something that people of Islam picked up. It got statutes depicting veiled priestesses date back as far as 2500 BC. So women have been veiling since before Christ. Okay, y'all have seen pictures of Mary Magdalene. She was veiled. You see what I'm saying? Y'all don't remember that? All them veils and them statues and everything you always see her in? Even on the Catholic Church, even they'll put a veil on her while they're pouring oils on her and stuff like that, worshiping Mary Magdalene. So we got elite women in ancient times wore the veil as a sign of respectability and high status. Okay? It has in ancient times laws detailing which women must veil and which women must not, depending upon the woman's class, rank, and occupation in society. Y'all hear that? Laws were even put in place that only women could wear veils based off their class, rank, and occupation in society. And that's why I'm about to say they got female slaves. Hear that? Female slaves and prostitutes were forbidden to veil and faced harsh penalties if they did so. Meanwhile, high priestesses, oracles, healers, brujas, midwives, etc., were placed on a high pedestal. So, like empresses and queens and stuff like that, you ain't gonna have to worry about them. You know what I'm saying? They were put on a high pedestal. And y'all know I identify as an oracle. And what do I do for a living? My occupation is a healer and an oracle. So that's why I veil. And I know this is ancient stuff, and I know it's a past stuff that a lot of people are out of touch with. But during my spiritual awakening, I was spiritually led to tap back into this energy for a reason. Okay, so let me keep going. It has right here, Veiling was thus not only a marker of art aristocratic rank, but it also served to differentiate between respectable women and those who were publicly available. So that's another thing. Women wore the veil to let people know that she was available. See, y'all are used to only seeing a woman in a veil at a wedding. So let me talk about that. The first somebody that seen my veil, they was like, "Congratulations." Y'all don't know how much that annoys me. Congratulations. I'm like, I'm not married. Why would I come out by myself? Y'all have seen them women that are married or they just got married. They actually don't even have a veil like this covering their entire head like I do. They'll be having that one little veil stuck on their hair and it's a little draping in the back. You could tell, and they'll have just married and all that stuff. Advertising they just got married. So later on, it became a status of marriage. But back then, it was a status that I'm ready to be a bride. Okay, I'm available to be a wife. That's what it was. It was like, because you couldn't wear that without that being the case. You know what I'm saying? So everything has gotten changed over time, obviously. You know what I'm saying? So it got right here. In the Indian subcontinent, some Hindu women cover their heads and face with a veil in practice known as gunhat. All right, and that's what yes, I tell y'all about my I have some origins that I in Hindu origins that I practice. So again, the practice of veiling for women appears to have established themselves among Jews and Christians before spreading to urban Arabs of the upper class and eventually among the urban masses. So remember I told y'all I already done did 2 different lives speaking about the Jews. Okay, so let me show y'all. So this is my veil. I had posted this already on YouTube. This is my veil and my face covering. Okay, that is what originally how we used to have to go out in public with a protector. Okay, and that's why I did that. Okay, somebody was like, "What is that?" And I'm a gypsy. So that was how we were meant to. That's how you identified. That's how you identified by that. Now I tell women, don't be going out there dressing like this when you're practicing other things, because spiritually you ain't, since men are away from this stuff now, there really ain't even no protectors for women like me, and I'm about to get into that too. There really is not protectors for women like me anymore, which is why I don't go out a lot in environments that I know I'm not going to have protection around me. Okay, I'm not going out if I don't really know people, and I don't know what to expect when I get there. I'm less likely to go. So if I don't feel like somebody is going to be there that I feel safe with, or there's going to be there that I feel safe around, I'm not going. That's just how it is. And that's another thing. When a woman didn't have a protector in her life, or a husband or a king, she had to do things to keep herself safe. Okay? Okay, so it got right here. I'm gonna read the rest of this. It got during it got this is a good part right here. During the history of slavery in the Muslim world, it is known that female slaves did show themselves unveiled. Slave women were visually identified by the way they dressed, while Islamic law dictated that a free Muslim which woman should veil herself entirely, except for her face and hands, in order to hide her aura, intimate parts, and avoid sexual harassment. The aura was of a slave woman was defined differently. So yeah, so I was, back then I would be instructed like you need to veil up. It was a protection. You could get killed for messing with a woman like myself. You could get killed or in jail or tortured, anything for harassing a woman. And see, now men don't care. They do not care. And then it's something, I didn't have to have a husband. I was a free woman. See, I'm a free woman because my occupation is this. So I was automatically given protection around with any man. Even somebody else's husband had to protect me. Say as a goddess here that she's married, but I'm not. And her husband had to protect me from some crazy men trying to harass me. He still had to do it. He didn't have to be sleeping with me. I didn't have to be one of his wives to receive protection. This is naturally what women of these occupations and statuses were given. And it was a requirement. If you got caught, not if you was around and something ever happened to a woman like myself and women like me, you would be in some serious trouble, jail. So, it would be serious. You could get whatever, lynchings and all that stuff. So I'm talking about this because when I went out, I had 3 different men that attempted to try to harass me. One of them He tends to do this every time, and I just ignore him every time he sees me, because he tried to talk to me in the past and I wasn't interested. He continues to bring that same scenario up, and this is something that happened like 5 years ago. So he can't stop bringing it up because he has not dealt with the rejection of me telling him no. So all he can do is step to the lows of being a child and pick on me and try to ignore me, thinking that's going to make me like him, and it's not. It's just going to show me how you're not safe, you're not respectful, you're a narcissist, you're insecure, and you definitely can't deal with rejection because you are self-evolved around women. If you don't get the acceptance of a woman, you don't even think highly of yourself, and those men are more dangerous than you think. A man should feel highly about himself regardless if a woman is in his life. I'm not saying that a woman and a man of high value coming together doesn't lift them even higher, but you should already have that higher feeling within yourself as an individual. You see what I'm saying? So that dude has been marked a danger zone for a minute. I don't see this person often, but every now and then when I go out over the years, he just happens to be on the scene, which is why I don't. That's why sometimes I avoid going out. Then, and I went to this after party after the concert, y'all. And as I was hanging out, once again, I purposely, a young lady. Let's talk about this. A sister, I asked this sister, could I ride with her to the after party, because I had already Ubered to the venue that the concert was at, and I wasn't sure if I was going to go to the after party. I said I'm gonna go to the concert, and depending on how this concert goes, I may go to the after party, because I don't really like going out late at night when the moon is out and stuff. I'm gonna keep it real. Even though I'm a moon worker, what roaches and vampires and a lot of stuff that you don't want most of the time is gonna be out at night. It's just the facts, okay? That's why your grandma used to say, be in the house before the lights come on. Ain't nothing open but legs. Okay, let's ring the bell. So look, I went to this young lady. She allowed me to ride with her. 222, thank you, bro. She allowed me to she allowed me to ride with her. And I told her I can give you a donation or something for your time. And she was like, "No, don't worry about that." A sister, y'all. All them people around me, and only a sister. I was able to have, and that's another thing. Sisters had to look out for each other back then, and it's still like that now. That's why sisterhoods are stronger most of the time than brotherhoods. Because sometimes we always protecting ourselves from men. And that's what happened to me. So she did. She safely got me to the after party. And while I was at the after party, surrounded by all these people, everything was fine. But out of nowhere, everybody decided we was gonna head out. I was having a blast. I was having a good time outside. I told you that one dude to keep harassing me and annoying me, and nobody spoke up about it. This one dude was harassing me the whole time, and nobody spoke up about it because people are just used to minding their own business. If you're not my woman, I'm not getting in that. And honestly, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign, y'all. It's not safe. So, but I was prepared for this when I went out, though. I was prepared, so I'm not mad at anybody. I don't take nothing personally, but it's just an example. So when everybody decided to pop up and just leave, I didn't have time to call my Uber, because had I known we was about to head, I would have called my Uber first. That's what I normally do. I would call my Uber first because I want to leave. I don't want to be the last person there by myself as a woman. That's not safe, and I'm gonna tell you why. As soon as everybody dipped, the girl that brought me over there asked me, did I want to ride back? And I said, no, I live on this side of town. I might as well just Uber from here, but going back is going to probably be more money. And I said, but thank you. A woman checked on me. Let's ring the bell. Arisha Stone, thank you. But yeah, a woman checked on me, the same woman, a sister. I felt safer with the sister than the brothers. Not specifically, the brothers that were there that end up leaving. I'm talking about these other two brothers I'm about to tell you about. So as soon as she split and everybody started going to their cars, and I was trying to hurry up and get on my phone because I was like, oh hell, I felt it. I'm a very powerful empath. I felt it. It was two men been waiting for me to get away from that crowd of people so they could approach me. And that's exactly what happened, okay? I'm very observant. As soon as everybody dipped, this dude came over like, congratulations, what's that on your head and all this stuff and I'm sitting here like, it's a veil, like what that mean? And I was like, I'm a Moor. What's that about? What that consist of? So that's another thing. What they try to do is intimidate a woman like myself and harass me with questions like I have to answer them. I don't have to answer you, so I just stopped talking to him and I went inside the venue. I don't have to answer you. Now he didn't follow me inside because once again I got around a bunch of people again. Then when I came outside, because my Uber was showing up, another dude came up to me. Hey, can I just get your numbers? Let's talk. And I'm like, no, thank. I mean, I'm talking. They was. I'm giving y'all the quick version, but they kept like coming after me, and I'm like, no. And he was like, so. And this is what he said to me, y'all. I quit, So it'll be you and your dildo, and that's it. I look. That's what I'm saying. But see, look, that shows you what he was after. Why would a man truly serious about me really ask me, was I using a dildo? Why would that be any of your business? Let's ring the bell. But that just shows you what he was focused on. He was too busy fantasizing about me. He was too busy caught up in my aura, like this is said. Men have been known to kidnap and kill women like back then. That's why a man could be lynched for putting his or killed for putting his hands on the divine feminine back then. You could not just be touching no veiled woman. And see, these men are not used to these teachers. They never grew up with these kind of teachers. They've never been used to being around divine feminists, ladies. And that's a bad sign on us too, ladies. We got to take some of, and some of us, we didn't get taught it. I got taught some of this stuff, y'all, because my family was Christians. As y'all heard me say, it was Christian origin. So I got taught some of this stuff because I got raised Christian, Church of Christ. And my grandmama was big on us about modesty. Like, honestly, I'm going to keep it real. I wasn't allowed to wear something like this. Like what I got on there as far as my skin showing, this is too much flesh. My grandmama would be like, hell no, we're not leaving the house like that. So I was always taught to cover up. Now, this is not what I had on that night. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm in the house. But I was taught strict wardrobes. That's why if you notice, I do not wear makeup, lipstick, add eyelashes. I do paint my nails every now and then. But we were grown up, but we couldn't do all that. That was considered an abomination and you was trying to get yourself raped. I know that sounds messed up. It is. It was hard on me as a young girl because all my friends would be able to wear stuff like backouts and stuff that I couldn't wear and express myself in, and I didn't understand. But now, as a grown woman, because I didn't get brought up wearing makeup and wearing any of that stuff, I just don't wear it. And that stuff expensive too, y'all. It's enough money taking care of me, let alone having to, do the extra stuff and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I do my own hair, I do my own nails. I'm self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? So the harassment that I was receiving from him and that comment that he made, he would not leave me alone. And then that's when they start asking you a million questions. Like, I'm not on a date with you. So that's another thing, ladies. You don't have to answer his questions. He's trying to figure you out in a short window of time by making you think he's interested. You don't need it. You naturally go. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Orisha Stone. But yeah, they tried to ask me a bunch of questions to make you think that they're actually truly interested in you. But if you would have seen both of these people's faces, how they were looking at me, how they were their demeanor, their energy that I felt, they were predators. Because let me tell you something else. Why did it take them to come after me? And they had been watching me the whole time, keeping an eye on me because they was ready to make their move like a hunter. They waited for me to not have protection around me to make a move because they didn't have no good intention for me. Because a real man that likes you, he gonna want to meet your father, your brother, your cousin. He want to know the man in your life so he can assure them that he's going to be protecting you. So that's another thing. Like, let's ring the bell, okay? If he had to wait till you was by yourself to approach you, he doesn't mean you anything good, okay? He's a predator. That's why he had to make sure you didn't have no protection so he couldn't have nobody to protect you from him. That's what it was about. I had to jump in my Uber and shut the door. Like literally, he was following me all the way to my fucking Uber. And nobody knew this happened. I haven't told anybody either because I'm safe. And I knew what to. Now I didn't know that was going to happen that night. You know what I'm saying? But I had a feeling that I was going to be approached by somebody. You know what I'm saying? You, as a women in general or men, it doesn't matter. But if you're a divine feminine or divine masculine, you naturally get it. Especially, let's talk about some of the divine masculines. Okay. Now I know divine masculines, because he's a male and males tend to love when women flock to them. Not all men, but a lot of men. They're not going to feel harassed the way that a woman is going to feel harassed because it's not natural for a woman to rape a man. Rape, now, not saying that men have not been raped by women because I don't want to trigger nobody because yes, that has happened. And most of the time when rapings happen with men, it's child stuff. It's stuff that was against their will when they was a child, when this woman was an authority figure taking advantage of them like a nanny or auntie or whoever, somebody, an older cousin. And, I'm sorry for that stuff like it is unhappy to people. But most of the time women just don't rape men. It's not possible because he's stronger anyway. A woman, unless she drug him or something, you know what I mean? So it's different. So men ain't gonna be worried about being protected from a bunch of women trying to throw themselves on him. So, but that doesn't mean all divine masculines like being surrounded by type of women like it. Because sometimes as a divine masculine, half of these women that's coming after you, they don't remember they had hoes back then. Look, let's go back to that verse that talked about the hoes. Prostitutes and whores had to be kept as enslaved because they was out of control. See, a woman in total control of herself, which is a witch, a bruja, didn't need to have nobody controlling her because she wasn't using her portal, her universe for sexual reasons, for money, goods, shelter, and weaponizing it. That's what they consider. I'm not saying women that's in this practice, you have to do what you got to do, but it was considered a weapon to use your body for sex against men, especially because men naturally don't have self-control anyway when it comes to sex. Not always, but a lot of men naturally don't have sex. If men had it their way, they would want to be out of control, having sex with 2,000 women a day if they could. Just keeping it real. They just want to do it all, right? They just don't naturally want to be tamed. So it takes a divine masculine to realize that he is still a special power force too, and that his magic is powerful. His magic wand, okay? His magic wand. He's a creator. He has a creative force just like me that should be honored, okay? So they still have issues too. They don't. So that's a lot of divine masculines. They don't like hoes, but that's what keep flocking to them, because hoes love seeing people in their light. Cause they like, oh, that's shining. Oh, he got money. Oh yeah, I throw that P out on him so I can get that money. So how you think they feel getting harassed by women? And as a man, if he's overly aggressive towards women, he's deemed as a jerk, all right? Or he must be gay just because he's turning down women. No, he's a divine masculine. He don't want y'all nasty stuff. Cause he don't know the last person that's been in that thing. He don't even know if you're clean. And some of these women, they get offended by that. They don't like rejection. So all this stuff came into play years ago, and we are away from that. That's now. Y'all see some of these other countries that's still like that now, and some of these women are oppressed in these, oppressed terribly in these other countries. They still got to veil up unwillingly, like especially a wife. Like once you got married, you couldn't leave the house without your veil, your face covered. Remember how you see them women that be having their face covered all the way up to their eyes? You don't even know. You can't even identify them technically. You know what I'm saying? And that was harassment, because women, they weren't allowed to do nothing. So I tell people, those Middle Eastern women that practice Islam in different areas and religions, and Christians, as y'all heard me saying here, they weren't too far apart. Because that's how it was in my church growing up. It was strict to the mud. You couldn't even wear a skirt pad. If your kneecap was showing, you was being immodest. You was trying to entice men. You shouldn't even show a knee. You couldn't even show a knee. You had to be completely covered. That was strict. In a world where everybody be out naked too, entertainers be naked, right? And then what's crazy is back in ancient Egypt, remember, they was naked all the time, dancing in the temples, all the gypsies and stuff. That was a part of their rituals. So the woman's body was admired and respected, though. So I'm saying, empresses and all that stuff. You couldn't just treat them bad. They were entertainers. They actually kept the energy balanced out, because men got to use their imagination. You know what? Back then, what they were doing, dancing in the temples, and you know how they had, have y'all ever seen the movies like The Mummy and all that? Y'all see how they had, a lot of their stuff was like chains. Bobby Hemmett talked about this. They had this body jewelry that was made like clothing. They used to shake it. You could hear the bells ringing. They was like doing like ritual work and stuff, enticing and stuff like that. But that was a part of entertainment back then. Just like we go to strip clubs now, or burlesque shows where women be dancing and stuff like that. That was the strip club back then. It was more classy. It was more classy. It was more classier back then, you know. And I feel like women are getting back into that now, but it was honorable, because men that were single or travelers that didn't have a woman or a wife yet, and still needed to be in the energy of a divine feminine, and the sexual presence of a woman, would be able to be entertained in that way, and they had to pay. See, that's another thing. In the strip club, some women, sometimes you can get paid, you don't. Now, you had to pay. These are our empresses that we have to take care of to keep them like this. So yeah, you had to pay money. So broke men weren't even allowed to be around these type of women. That's another thing. You couldn't be no poor man coming up in the temples looking at goddesses and stuff and coming to this stuff. It was kings and pharaohs and successful men that was able to get access to these divine feminines. So that's why I tell some women now, men, just because he's complimenting you, just because he's asking you questions, just because he's telling you you're beautiful, does not mean he's going to be a protector, provider, and a lover to you, okay? He just wants access to you so you can boost his ego and he can go on to the next one. He may hit it a couple of times. He may not one night stand it. He may hit it a couple of times, but after he hit it a couple of times, he knows he can't provide for you. He knows you're high maintenance. He just wanted to see if he can get it. It's about him testing his ego, his self-esteem. Like, oh, if I can get one of those, I can get more. Don't even have intentions of truly keeping you and wifing you or nothing. So y'all gotta watch that. Y'all gotta watch that, ladies. I'm serious. He don't have no intentions of wifing you. He don't care. If he had intentions of wifing you, he wouldn't be coming at you in that way at all. That's what I said. Those dudes were such predators. I watched they move like it was crazy. It's like you gonna wait till you see everybody leave. Oh, she don't got no protection. Let me go shoot my shot. Cowards, and they're cowards too, because they didn't want to see. They didn't want to see somebody stand up for me because they knew they didn't have good intentions. All right. So look, y'all, that was the main message I had to say about this. I had to get that out of my chest, y'all. I was like, at first I wasn't gonna share it. At first I wasn't gonna share this information at first, but I said, but Spirit led me for educational reasons to share this. So the next time somebody asks me why I'm veiling and start asking me questions, I'm gonna be like, why don't you follow me on YouTube and send this to you, okay? And watch this video right here, okay? Because I ain't gonna lie, y'all get tired of even asking that question. Because no, I don't feel like nobody sees a Muslim and asks a Muslim woman, especially because Muslim women tend to not be somebody that they looks like me. I feel like there are male Africans and stuff like that wear the hijab and all that stuff, but you can tell by their features that they're not an American woman. You know what I'm saying? So when women of the American background that identify as Black, African American here in the Americas, I feel like we get harassed because they trying to look at us like, well, who you think you is? Because we always get stereotyped. Why are we doing this? And all the other girls are not doing this. You know what I'm saying? They don't like women being authentic because it puts the pressure on them. So since they don't like, they like stereotyping us, and they don't like women doing stuff like being high maintenance, what they gonna do? They gonna try to bring that high maintenance woman down. Like we need to bring her down a peg. She too much on a high pedestal about herself. If we let them start climbing, we ain't gonna have nothing. Exactly. That means you need to step your game up, bro. Step your freaking game up. That's why women, y'all need to get y'all portal protectors. They are in my shop. And if he is not your king, you shouldn't be giving him no poo non need. Okay? If he is not taking care of you, if he's not providing for you, and he's not protecting you and loving you and respecting you, he shouldn't be getting a piece of the portal, baby. This is a life force. And men too. Y'all need to stop going up in women that you don't know if she been up in 5 other dudes today. You getting your energy siphoned too? Haven't you heard of a succubus? That stuff is real. She can siphon your energy too. You can have everything going for yourself. Be shining bright in the spotlight, doing well in life. You got all the money in the world, and here come this succubus woman and take all your Ori. For you know, you done lost money, lost a car, had an accident, your house caught fire, because you had sex with a low vibrational being. I don't know why. Y'all better stop being so available. Y'all better stop being so available. It's a two-way street here. It's nasty out here. Y'all see? Okay, matter of fact, I think they just said Beyonce got robbed in Atlanta. Look, she a divine feminine, and she a dark feminine too. The dark feminine is under attack. The high maintenance women, they under attack. They don't like divine feminine. That's why we had such high protection back then. They don't like divine feminines. They don't like the matriarchy rising. They don't like dark feminines. Okay, look at Beyonce. She just got robbed. I don't know how true this is, but it's going around that she got robbed in Atlanta. How the heck who would even think to rob her? Why Beyonce? Man, y'all, this stuff is crazy. I personally feel like this is the age of Aquarius, and I personally feel like it's time for things to change. I know it is. And the only time it's only going to change when we take the lead. We got to take the lead. We got to present the change. Present the change to people too. People don't lost their mind a long time ago, but it's getting worse. It's getting worse. So y'all protect yourself. What they say, hide your kids, hide your wife. Remember that dude that had that song, hide your kids, hide your wife. Hide your kids and hide your wife. It ain't safe here. Okay, it's not safe. But I was safe, y'all. It was good. I knew it. That's why I called my Uber quick. I know how to stay safe. I did everything I was supposed to make sure I was safe. I got the freak up out of there quick. So I did not get harassed long. Okay? So look, we'll see the next time I'm going out. Man, but look, that was all I got. Thank y'all for listening in. Y'all know if y'all like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. If you know anybody that needs to hear this message, please send it to them, okay? And please tell them to subscribe as well. If y'all would like to support me, y'all can go to my website, goddessontherise.life. That is goddessontherise.life. I did get some new stuff in today that I haven't posted on my website yet, but I will. I had a busy day already, and I just decided to come on here and do this. Also, what else I got? I don't got no readings, but y'all know Mercury retrograde in a couple of days. So man, I had to lay down on the ground yesterday, on the ground, like go outside and ground and lay down. I had like a little ground blanket, but I laid on the ground, just the ground, because the energy was so, it was a lot. So y'all get grounded, and you gotta go. You need grounding right now. You can take spiritual baths, but you need to get grounded because the Mercury retrograde is speeding. It's going. Remember, it's going the opposite direction that it normally goes, and it's stirring us up. So you got to get grounded in the universe. Go outside barefoot on the ground or lay on the ground. Okay, that's the only thing that's gonna help you. All right, that's the only thing gonna help you right now. Stay grounded, y'all. Stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water. Eat healthy. Okay, don't be eating too much stuff that got grease, salty stuff that's gonna pull down your artery and just it's bad. Drink some live juice. All right, y'all. So also, if y'all would like to give donations, I do take donations on Venmo, PayPal, Chime, as well as Cash App. Okay, it's Copper Queen with the number 33 on Chime and Cash App, and it's Got Us on the Rise on Venmo, and it's Got Us on the Rise.life at gmail.com on PayPal. All the information that's in these videos, y'all. I think that's all I got for y'all. I'll talk to y'all later, y'all. Copper Queen checking out.